Oh, there we go.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Toku Portal podcast for Kikai Sentai Zenkaiger. I am Vashi V, and joining me today is
Right. Welcome to episode 27.
otherwise known as so far my favorite episode ever.
This was a good one. Uh, so, Kaito's mom escaped Ijirude's lab, which our heroes found out when one of the Kudaks went to go get Stacy to join in the search. So Kaito has a brilliant idea. Zox, your ship can travel between worlds?
I mean, it's not a bad idea.
Nah, and he ends up agreeing to do it, so.
Like,
Meanwhile,
and I feel the only reason why he agreed to do it is because it would cause Toji Tendo strife. Like, because he has no other reason to help out, because he's
right.
still playing that I'm the cool little loner criminal pirate.
Meanwhile, Ijirude is pretty miffed. I put her back into Skull storage. Stacy, you saw me, right?
God, this is one of that storyline. I'm as much as I'm enjoying the ride of it, I want certain things to happen now.
For now, Ijirude doesn't seem to suspect Stacy's foul play. But Geeg, on the other hand, might have an inkling.
In defense, Geeg's the only one who seems to know what the hell's going on at all.
Yeah, Geeg's keeping this place running. Stacy questions if searching for a missing woman is really such a high priority, but Ijirude insists that she's too valuable a specimen to lose, and that he'd rather retrieve her than defeat Zenkaiger.
Well, probably because without her, he has no chance.
I mean, it's pretty implied that he got all of his ideas from Kaido's parents, so.
Right. Apparently, more specifically, from the mother.
So, I mean, both of them, but yeah. But yeah, without them, like, he might be exposed as a fraud, and that'd be bad. So, Gowon and Vroom are staying behind. Vroom has to stay behind because he will be too curious about every world they visit to leave, and Gowon is staying behind to keep an eye on him.
Right.
Meanwhile, they can keep an
I,
eye out to see if Kaido's mom happens to return.
Like, my favorite thing for that gag is the whole, it's like, why am I want to go, I want to visit other worlds. It's like, you'll be a giant pain in the ass. What are you talking about? Why? Take me with you! See, this is exactly what I'm talking about.
Imagine tries to use magic and fortune telling to predict which world they should search. While she's doing that, because no one can leave her alone long enough to concentrate, uh, Flynn just kind of picks a world at random. Since they have a complete list of all the worlds they've released, those are the only possible worlds that she could go into. So they go to Kashiwa Mochi World, where everyone wears a hat that looks like Kashiwa Mochi. And our heroes don't have that hat on, which makes them perverts because they are indecent.
Like, I want to say it was either the trailer or that opening splash during the credits where it did the whole pervert thing, and Pixie's sitting there going, "I didn't say anything that would make that there was nothing perverted in that." I'm like, "Oh, just wait, they'll find a way."
Yeah. Apparently, in this world, everyone has to wear Kashiwa Mochi on their head, or it's indecent.
I'm still not happy about this. You know that. You know this, right? I'm still not happy about this.
I'm perfectly fine because this is what I assumed from the start.
I know, and I understand the gag and the joke with it, but still.
So, the running gag throughout this episode is that one of their frequent customers, they run into alternate versions of him in each of the worlds they go to. Most of them try to attack them for breaking some sort of law, whereas others are actually friendly and helpful.
Like Mr. Sue in the Ice Age.
This actor's got range.
Yes, he does. I kind of want to see him play like that old school samurai policeman thing.
Uh,
I know there was a specific name for it, and it was brought up in the Rurouni Kenshin movies. I just don't remember what the hell it was called.
I don't either. What's Pink's name again?
Imagine.
Okay, I was thinking Magia. I was like, no, it's not that.
It's
So,
been 27 weeks, man.
yeah, whatever. She is the least prominent character of the core five.
This is true, but also one of the most useful,
Yeah.
which is scary.
Um. So imagine finally gets a vision in her crystal ball, which points them to Retro World. Should be fine, right? Nope. Policeman immediately is like on their case. I thought it was going to be because of their modern looking outfits.
I did too, and you know, then the actual reason I'm like, oh yeah,
Oh
no, that
yeah,
makes sense too.
two of them
It's like
are
one of those just
two of them are robots.
like
Apparently, futuristic technology is banned in this world for fear of change, probably.
which I again makes a lot more sense than the expectation we had.
What a strict world.
And this is the point where I think we tend to forget that they're robots.
Yeah, and
Like we
like
know they're robots, but we've been dealing with them having emotions and all of that stuff, which is very anti-robot.
they're normal, and like we've been dealing with a world where they are fully integrated and accepted into society. That was
Right.
a
So
world where that never happened.
happened. Right. So it's like, oh yeah. No, that does make more sense.
And now Zox is done with the fortune telling. So Flint throws a dart at the paper. Let's go there. What one was next? Was it Ice Age?
Ice Age.
So they go to Icetopia. Uh, Unfortunately, they are unable to find Kaito's mother there. They do find Stacy, however, who came prepared with coats because it's cold.
The only person through this who had common fucking sense. But then again, there's been that running comment I've made almost every episode.
So yeah, Stacy is leading a platoon of Kudaks through this world, while others are searching other worlds. A lot more violently than Stacy is. Even Earth is being harassed. But that's why Gowan and Vroom are there.
Like it in defense of Stacy not really being violent, it's like he doesn't want her caught.
Right. But
Like clearly.
right, and he's at least taking his mission seriously though, of like, I'm gonna look for her, but I'm not gonna cause a fucking ruckus. That's not gonna solve anything.
I didn't say anything about bringing her back.
So yeah, Kaido realizes that the worlds are all being targeted by Toji Tendo, and he wants to save them all, but that's not feasible.
And as Zox put it, why do you care? It does not affect you.
So Imagine makes an offhand comment like, "Man, if only we could find her in the next world, uh, then they wouldn't have any reason to search for her." Which gives Kaido a brilliant idea. Let's face it, you knew what was going on as soon as it happened.
It took a little bit of time.
Oh,
Not a
really?
whole lot. Not a whole lot. It didn't take very long.
I
But there was that brief moment where before she starts acting like magic, there's a there was like a good minute or two where completely normal, and then she starts going.
you so you bought it at first.
I bought it at first, at least long enough to go, because I'm like, with a show this, and I don't mean this disparagingly, but with a show this stupid, and how I used the same logic I used for, hey, look, they ran into the monster immediately. I used that same logic that she could have been found that easily.
I knew it was a trick, but I was wrong at first too. Because at first I thought that it was going to be Flint playing damsel in distress. Before I realized, like, oh wait, Magine isn't here.
Like I didn't even realize Magine was gone
I didn't have.
until she started acting like Magine.
Yeah, no, I didn't realize Magine was missing at first either, and then it hit me like, oh, this is Magine. At first I thought it was Flint that was in disguise.
Though all of this has given me one thing I want. When, when this thread finally wraps up, I want his mother to be around during a transformation and all that, and to do the exact same thing. I want her to behave the exact same way.
Like that's actually just how she is.
To give credence to Magine's magic ability.
Doubtful, but that'd be funny.
And that's why I think they would do it. Because it would be funny.
Yeah, that they have made a lot of decisions based on that in this show.
That alone is like half the show. I mean, hell, Magine shot herself in the face.
No trigger discipline. She's never used a gun before. She does know how to use it now, though, thankfully.
I will admit, also in the recap episode, I'm glad they kept that.
So, the Zenkaigers put on a show of pretending that they found Kaito's mom in Mushroom World. So, E.G. Rude immediately summons all forces to Mushroom World, where they then put on a show of rescuing her from the others. Kudak even manages to get his hand on her arm like, "You're coming with me," and Stacy jumps into like, "No, she's coming with me."
Nice try, asshole.
The Kudak doesn't even say anything about it. He thinks Stacy is just doing his job.
I mean, to be fair, would you question your boss?
I wouldn't think there was anything suspicious about it, but I'd be like, "Fuck you, man,
Dick.
I had it."
Dick. Like, this was a great fight, too.
Right?
If only for the constant back and forth, taffy.
And like, we had a really good fight last week's episode with Stacy versus all of them, and it gets interrupted as you're really getting into it. This makes up for that. This was a really good one.
It does. Like, and this is also one of those points where the stunt actors they have for people are fantastic, and just the actors in general too, when they have to do any of this stuff.
And the choreography is on point.
Oh yeah. Like this was a fight that had, like, to me, like, very old homages to, like, old Jackie Chan movies. where they're literally doing this type of fight, like trying to keep somebody safe or keep from getting kidnapped, and it's a back and forth. Like I enjoy the fights when they're not just straightforward. We're just fighting.
Right, like, no, there's an objective here. Uh, so yeah, once the Kudeks are all defeated and only Stacy remains, it's clear that he could keep fighting, but chooses not to.
Yeah, he just kind of fuck this.
He doesn't even think that this is he doesn't realize this is a trick. Which I thought he might have at first, but no, he actually fell for it too.
And like, I know I've talked shit about the shared brain cell, but damn, this was a great plan.
Right?
Like there was a lot that could have gone wrong, but the overall idea for this plan was flawless.
And as they jump aboard Zox's ship and make their way back to Earth, Ichirode desperately calls up Stacy like, Stacy! 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 Fucking
Fuck him up!
what?
Fuck him up!
Come on, use the thing! Use the thing! Use the thing! Hurry, go! Summons Black Juren Gowan to chase them through the warp gate.
You know what's funny? Kaito and them were the one who called it that.
Didn't Stacy call it that first and they repeated it?
No. Stacy called it something else. It was a longer name. And Kaito was the one who called it Black Jurengon.
I could have sworn Stacy called it that.
Nope. But it's funny that Ichirode is calling it. Like, it wasn't much different, but it was different enough that my brain just registered that was Kaito trying to just say it faster.
Hold on. I'm double checking when he first summons it. Zenkai Juran. Zenkai Gowan. They form together. Zenkai O Juragawan.
Yeah, because like I said,
that's what the machine called out, but then Stacy says, let's call it Black Juragawan.
I could have swore.
And then Kaido and Juren are like, Juragawan?
I guess, okay, so yeah, Stacy did call it that.
Yeah, I was pretty sure about that. It's just like, no, I could have sworn he was the one that called it that, and the others were like shocked. Like, wait, it's what?
It's been 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And I'm getting over COVID, so I have an excuse. This time.
So if he did call it something else, it's like, well, then what did he call it?
Because in my head, he called it what it called out.
No, that was just the machine call. So, Kaito and Zox, while in the warp gate, oh, no, wait, they crash into Ice World again and form their kaiju monstrosity to take out the machine.
After trapping it in ice. Which at least they gave a good reason for why they beat it.
Right, like,
because last time it literally just split apart.
Right, Like, it was too much for them. This gives them an environmental advantage that they were able to take advantage of. And so, with that, E.G. Rude now believes that uh, Kaito's mom, I don't remember her name, uh,
Misao or something like that. I want to say it
is now safely back in the hands of the Zenkaigers. And the only one who knows where their base is Stacy. And he'll never tell.
Nope. Because that would make Yatsude mad.
Even without this, like, he would never have said that. He wouldn't want to put her in danger.
Right. Like, this is that point where, like, the Stacy storyline is fully engaging and very well done. Because it's slow enough because he's still focused on defeating Zenkaiger, but you see his character shifting. Like when you have a cast, especially in the case of Stacy, who's not always a major focus of an episode or in an episode at all, you can still have character growth consistently and throughout the show rather than, waiting until the last 5 episodes.
And Stacy's character arc is like the most plot we've gotten in this show.
Yeah. Outside of my parents are missing.
Which now they are tied into each other.
Yeah. Cuz now it's partly Stacy's fault. It's just not for a bad reason.
Now, Kaito's mom is still somewhere out there in one of the parallel worlds. They can't just keep going looking for her, though, otherwise they risk tipping off the Toji Tendo that she's still out there. But slowly, they will find a way to find her.
Which I have a way for them to do that.
Which is?
They can literally have Zox do it on the side.
Yeah, but like if he's missing too much.
But that's what I mean. Is like they can have him bounce out for an episode. It'd be a way to not have to use Zox every episode. Which I realize Sentai's not about that. Sentai's all about using the 6th member once the 6th member shows up. But it would do good to pace out that so they can focus more on the Stacy storyline. So it's like they can kind of bounce it back and forth, have him disappear for an episode, come back, disappear for an episode, come back. Because to be fair, as far as Toji Tenda knows, Zox has his own fucking plans anyways.
Right. Zox agrees to help, but in exchange, Kaito covers their tab at Colorful. Which is the name of the shop. I finally learned it.
And Kaito's tried not to have any of that. He wants nothing to do with that deal. Because apparently...
How about 10% discount? 11%?
I'm like, and like initially my brain went, why do you care? And then I'm like, oh wait, yeah, because the last time they showed up and just took what they wanted, they took everything. The show is so fucking good.
Next week, Shonen Manga World. Not even
of course.
Not even just Manga World. Shonen Manga World.
Which, to be fair, makes a lot of sense.
So...
Because, like, a lot of tokusatsu has 90% of it shonen. With its, the whole power scaling, leveling up, camaraderie, friendship. you know.
So, after this rough patch of intense episodes, seems like we're going back to something normal next week.
Normal. Like any part of this show is normal. This episode was one of the most normal ones.
But it still broke the mold. It didn't have your traditional, like, monster of the week.
You're right, it didn't. But to be fair, in this case, it was Stacy and the mech. Speaking of, I am disappointed in Black Jurin Gowan.
And why is that?
I want his actual robot back.
Oh, yeah. Maybe.
Because in my head, what's the point of giving him a mech and giving him upgrades to his mech if you're going to turn around and give him a carbon copy of...
Well, his mech did kind of explode in the last...
So did his first one.
Yeah, and that took months to rebuild.
Get to it, EJ Rude. Stop fucking off. But no, it's like in my head, it's disappointing not to see Battle Caesar.
It is a rare example of a villain mech that can't last more than an episode.
I don't think we've ever had that, have we?
I can't think of anything off the top of my head, and I'm not going to put too much effort into it.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. So we've reached that point of the episode that I have questions for you about other things.
I haven't been watching Revice yet. I plan to at some point.
It's actually the first two episodes, aside from the weirdo let's turn into creatures and shit, it's actually pretty damn good.
Like, the promotion stuff all seemed good, so I'm, like, definitely interested in watching it. I just haven't gone around to it.
The only two things I dislike about the show, and it's more aesthetic choices than anything, is the fact that the Deadman's grunts look like just modified versions of Dangerous Zombie.
Yeah, you mentioned that.
Like, I know we should have noticed this during the trailers and stuff like that they put out, but my god, it's so much more in your face in the first two episodes. And there are different ways that he can use the stamps, which makes sense. Because he can use them with the belt, but he can also use them as the same way like the monsters get created, where he can just hit it to his chest. If he does that while he's in rider form, he gets T-Rex legs. Like his leg, like the way that Oz's legs turn grasshopper.
Yeah.
Only this looks 10 times worse. This looks...
Oh, really? It looks like shit?
It looks like garbage.
Oh,
It looks like absolute garbage.
Oh, no. We don't watch these shows for the special effects.
There's one point that doesn't make sense. So his whole thing is he's got to collect the stamps.
Okay.
So he gets the first one, and then he also, in the first episode, he also gets Megalodon.
That's Decade.
That's Decade. In the second episode, for no reason whatsoever, the bad guys have Megalodon.
Like, they took it from him? Or they have their own copy?
I'm assuming it's their own copy. Or they just literally somehow got their hands on it.
But he doesn't use it that episode, so you don't know?
The bad guys use it.
But, I mean, Revice.
Yeah, Revice doesn't use it at all.
So you don't know if they took his somehow?
Right. So...
That's weird.
At the end of the first episode, he gives the belt back. Because he goes, no, I'm not here to save the world. I was just trying to protect my family. I got a bathhouse to run later. And then the second episode turns more into the I'm gonna step up and be the hero. So he gives the belt and everything back to Phoenix, and then the next time he has a belt, all of a sudden the bad guys have Megalodon, and somehow they now have Phoenix has Hawk.
And that's double.
That's double. And somehow next
So
week the preview, they're gonna have Mammoth.
I don't know Mammoth. Which one's Mammoth?
Deno. That's Deno. And my God, you need to see Deno.
The Deno is a man. I don't understand these.
So the way is, and this is only if Drago's right, and this is the only one I remember him giving the explanation for. I guess in one of the movies, they replaced an elephant with a mammoth.
They replaced the what?
There was some parade that they took part in, and they replaced a mammoth in the parade. I don't know what Drago was talking about because I haven't seen all of the Deno movies.
I'm gonna be watching them with my roommate soon. I'll keep an eye out. Or we got 4 episodes of the main series left.
I need to get Pixie back into watching Sentai Rider because I've not been doing that because I've been fucking off doing my own thing, playing video games and shit.
He's been enjoying Deno a lot, and it makes me happy that he's been liking it so much. We just got an episode where Dena possesses Yuto to go around and make friends at night to create more
Oh
memories.
yes,
And then
yes.
that girl ends up falling in love with him.
That was a great episode. So,
oh, Deneb is so sweet.
I have to ask,
What's up?
what is your roommate's favorite Imogen?
Deneb.
And I was about to say, why is it Deneb?
You know why it's Deneb.
For the same reason everybody's favorite is Deneb. Like Pixie's, I think Pixie's favorite is Ryutoros.
He also really likes Urataros.
Hold on 1 second. 1 second. Hey, Knucklehead, we're just talking about the Imogen.
What did she say?
She said drive, no double.
What?
I think she was. I think she thought I said favorite rider.
Oh. Anyways, yeah, I think my roommate also likes Urataros because, like, whenever Urataros finally gets screen time, he's like, "Man, I wish we could see more of this guy."
In defense, he's the last one we'll see him. He'll see him possessed.
Oh, really? Urataros is the last one?
Yeah, because that's who's possessing him in the Heisei Generations movie.
Oh yeah.
The last time, the last one he has ever.
Don't know if I'm gonna show him that or not, but maybe.
See if he wants to watch any of the other ones. Because if he does, then I definitely show him that one eventually.
At most, I show him that scene. And then the follow-up of Momotaro's walking into battle, singing his own theme song.
God, that was great.
Ijan, Sugeijan. Ijan, Sugeijan.
Exactly. God, I miss Deno. Like, I know we complain about the fact that the show never fucking ends.
But there's a reason they bring it back every couple of years.
Because it's fucking great. The same reason why they kept bringing back Decade. Because you can't stop with the shit that works. Which is sad. Which is funny because Decade didn't work. Decade was a failure compared to, other writers. Especially coming off of Deno. But that's because nobody understood how the fucking worlds worked.
Yeah.
It took till Zio to find that out.
If he does agree to watch a second one, it'll be Ryuki. Because that those were the two that sounded interesting to him when I went over the list.
So you just proffered it up as funny time travel, depressing murder.
We're actually gonna watch Ryuki first, but it wasn't playing on the PS4, but Den-O was, so we watched that instead. But now I have a way to get Ryuki to work, so if he wants to watch it, we can. But we got other shows lined up in front of it, so if it comes down to
Right.
Ryuki, it'll be like a while.
Um, but I think the one thing that'll sell you on Revice in terms of the actual overall show itself so far
Hmm.
is it depicts reality in terms of he's got a job, he's got
Oh,
the
normal
family,
everyday
the
stuff.
normal everyday shit.
Rewatching Den-O, that has blown my mind. Like
The
you
amount
get
of just normal shit.
like to the end of the show, they are still like doing the 2 episode plot lines where it's like, here's the contract holder in their normal life and how it's being affected by all this rider stuff. And it's like, man, this is what modern writer's missing. The drama aspect.
Respect, right? Like, and this show has it. I'll give it that.
And there were
Like, even though the episodes so far are just like one-off episodes, like you get to see the characters that and how things play out come across very organically rather than just, hey, here's a monster attacking, go kill it.
and like they did a couple of episodes where it's like, all right, this is just a one-off, and they felt rushed, and you didn't really get to know the contract holders, and it reminded me of Modern Rider, of like, this is what Modern Rider feels like. You don't really get a feel for how the heroes are actually affecting the people around them. You don't get a feel for how normal people are being saved by the riders,
Like
which
for me,
is
but for
the
the first two episodes of Revise, like you don't get that really with the two contract holders that you get. But the overall like characters that we will see again, time and time again. Like we're seeing how everything is affecting them. Like there was a guy who was supposed to become Revice because it follows the standard Zect setup. You're supposed to be a member of Phoenix, and they had someone trained up specifically to do it. And for lack of a better term, he bitched out. um, but you see, like it just within the second episode, just like the fallout from that, and it's just a small thing. It's like, but you can see that it's something that they're gonna build upon. So already it's more in depth than Saber had been ever. In 2 episodes, there's more depth to the characters than that. Even though literally Vice is there just to be a fucking pun machine.
does he not fight?
No, he does, but he's there. He's the comedy relief.
Ah, when he's not fighting, he's okay.
Oh no, even when he's fighting, he's still the comic relief.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the first 2 episodes are literally just here's your powers, and then his mom ends up in the hospital, and he goes, "Yeah, no, I'm out. I was just doing this to protect them. I have a bathhouse to run." And then it's his mom in the hospital when they're all there going, "No, you have a chance to save the world. Why are you back at the bathhouse? What are you doing? Go do that." And it's done in a very genuine way. Like I want to see these characters move, like see how it grows and builds. I'm actually, and I don't care that, the voice of Vice has caused problems because apparently
Oh,
he's caused a lot of problems. Um, But overall for the show, it's great. And also, all of the monsters apparently are origami.
Oh, that's a new one.
Like they're all designs that we know, like Grasshopper and um, Megalodon, and I forget what the other one was. I think it was Mammoth, but they're all like origami shaped. Like the suits are all like folded paper look.
Stamps, paper. I'm seeing a theme here. I don't know if it's a relevant theme, but there's a theme.
There's a theme, and like it fully clicked that they were origami once the dad, while he's at the hospital with the family, pulls out, he's like, I folded cranes for you. And I'm like, that's what the monsters look like. And he pulls out, she's like, you folded 1,000 of them? And he goes, no, I folded one three-headed one though. And I'm like, yeah, I was staring at him like, and then the monster shows up. I'm like, oh yeah, no, that's just origami. And it actually works well, amazingly enough.
Imagine being a suit designer for these shows.
There are some where I'm like, you guys have gone over the top on the suit designing for the monsters. Um, Ryuki would be one that I feel they went over the top with. Only because of the amount of like just the random monsters that showed up. Saber did until they quit giving a crap about the monsters. 01 did fantastic on their monster designs. It's like, but I'd hate to be the guy who has to go in and go, all right, here's 50 years worth of monsters.
Well, that's why they repurpose a lot of them.
Make something similar, but drastically different. Because, I mean, if you look at the last, 4 or 5 series, and you look at the grasshopper monster, they're all drastically different from each other.
It
Like,
helps.
it's
It helps when the monsters have an actual like theme to stick to, like a core
like,
idea, like
right,
origami. When you make a grasshopper, you're making it look like an origami grasshopper, so that helps differentiate it from the 50 other grasshoppers.
right. And when you're making a series about evil robots, evil robot grasshopper. When you're making one about greed, give him a human face. I don't know. Yes, that was a comment about O's.
Yeah, I got that. All
I
right.
hate that monster's back again, by the way. It's in the Tyson movie. And I'm not happy about it.
Anyway, thanks for joining us tonight, everybody, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you all for joining us. We'll see you next week for more kooky hijinks.
Wait, what?
Have you not been watching Zenkaiger? We will be back with more kooky hijinks.
Oh, I thought you were saying cookie.
No, kooky. I have a lisp, leave me alone. Not that excuses why that sounded the same.